It also seems like in this early stage, too, that just the hesitation on behalf of these firms has ripple effects in terms of the labor market and other aspects. Could you talk about that? How it's not just these firms per se, the economic impact is everywhere?
Yeah, so, you have a small grocery store in a town that has been expanding over the last few years, and you had put in place plans to do a major renovation of your grocery store and expand and hire 10 more people, and it was all in place. And now you're terribly worried. You're terribly worried about food costs. You're terribly worried about whether or not the massive reductions in immigration mean less demand for your stuff. You're worried about whether or not the price of the refrigerator that you were going to put in, replacing your old refrigerator in the back of the grocery store is now going to be more expensive because of import tariffs. For all of those reasons, you might say, you know what, let's pause. And what that means is that those 10 workers who you plan to hire are now not going to get hired. And now, what about the company that was gonna, sell you your new refrigerator? Well, that company, now it has less demand for its stuff that it was going to sell. So maybe it lays somebody off. And this is how recessions start. It starts to pick up its own negative momentum because those people who now no longer see demand for their skills as workers don't spend as much money as they were going to.
Mm-hmm. And there's probably a lot of belt tightening that's happening.
And there's a lot. I mean, I want to say I want to be clear. I think the belt tightening is a little down the road. And in fact, I think that there's a chance that we will continue to see strength in consumer spending for a couple of months as consumers quite reasonably and rationally try to get ahead of any tariffs that might get put in place. And I think it's going to take a little while for the labor market to soften, and for a time the labor market will stay strong, and so incomes will stay strong, and so I think we may see a couple of months of relatively strong consumer spending, even as investment, as I fear, craters. But then ultimately, yes, this will hit families' pocketbooks, and they will have to pull back on their spending just to make ends meet.